I just hit record. All right. So, peace and greetings. All right. Give thanks. Welcome. Woo! Had to make sure that my technical brain was activated and working my technical chakra, right? We know we have the chakras, but then we forget that tech is something different, okay? That requires a whole different type of human being. So peace and greetings and welcome. Today is the presentation that I have been so excited to prepare. Um, it really correlates to one of my personal journeys and one of my personal, I guess, favorite topics, which is nutrition. Today we are discussing how to get healthy and live happy. Very often with health, we can struggle with finding our happiness in our health. Okay. So today is really about narrowing down some things so you understand the connection between health and happiness. And then you get some tips on how to start your nutritional journey, right? And of course, I'm going to give you the secret right now that starting your nutritional journey is it's you want to start with fasting. Okay. You always want to start with fasting. Fasting is always the greatest place to start with your nutritional journey. All right. So let's get started. All right. So I'm your host. I'm Goddess Queen Jamila Osset, and I am an absolute lover of health and nutrition. I'm actually not a first generational lover of health and nutrition. My mother was a lover of health and nutrition, and as was my grandmother. So I come from a lineage of women who are herbalists by nature. They are Caribbean women, they're from the islands, and they are ones who stocked up on herbs, knew how to heal, knew how to do things to improve the body's health and state of wellness. So I'm more or less a third or fourth generation holistic nutritionist and herbalist. So I am a wellness teacher and I'm also a sacred woman. I graduated from Queen Afua's Rites of Passage, and I am what you would call a holistic wellness practitioner, someone who practices holistic wellness, and holistic wellness just indicates mind, body, and soul connection. Okay, so whenever someone is speaking about holistic, that implies the whole body, not just the mind, not just the body, not just the spirit, but all three components working together. Okay. All right. So, what you can expect today and beyond, okay? Because today's workshop is really just it's a little taste, okay? It's a little curdle on the top of the milk. It doesn't really get to go into the deep layers, but we're gonna dive into some really juicy stuff in this particular workshop, um, and we're gonna do so in a way that's light because we don't want to make health boring. We don't want to make health um, dry. We want to make sure that our health and our excitement. We're excited about our health. We are motivated. We're pumped. We're not bored. We're not agitated. We're not irritated. We are here for the health. Okay. So today we're going to go through a brief overview of nutrition, and you're going to learn the components, the simple components of nutrition. There are components that um, make up nutrition. Then we're going to outline a basic framework for getting healthy. What does healthy even look like, right? So this is an interactive workshop. So we're gonna answer some of these questions and dive a little further into getting healthy. Then we're going to talk about how you can align your relationship with health and happiness. Like, how do you make health happy? How do you put health and happy together, right? Because obviously, two different things, and many of us have never learned how to do that. So, we're going to talk about some of that today. And then we are going to get started with our 7-day fast. Today, we're going to be talking about fasting. And I just want to give you a little heads up. We're going to be talking about fasting a lot. Okay. So what I'd like to do actually to just, kickstart things off is I'd like to give you a little disclaimer. So when it comes to health and wealth and all these other wonderful things, Um, I want you to know that my connection and my relationship with health and wellness really has a lot to do with my understanding of the body's purpose, right? So I said I'm a holistic wellness practitioner. So we will get into all these things, and we will get into just nutrition and how nutrition is set up and what you need to know about jumpstarting your nutritional journey. But before we do that, I want you to understand the concept of health as wealth, right? And for many of you who are listening, whether it be on YouTube or even on Zoom, many of us have grown up in environments where our health has not been prioritized, and our health has not been prioritized in a way that has helped us to make our health a priority, right? We know that we are the product of our environment. So if one layer of generation is not doing it, that trickles down to the next layer. Then the environment is also where we live, who we live with, what's around us, right? So there's many different components that have led us on this particular life journey to be where we are, where you currently are, right? So whatever your relationship with health is, that has come as a conglomerate, as a summary, as a summation of all of the factors that have taken place in your life. So that, and when I say health, in this particular scenario, in this particular case, I'm using health and I'm referring to health and wellness, mental health, emotional health, physical health, all of it. Again, holistic. Okay. So we have had to learn how to make health a priority in our lives. We've had to learn that as individuals. Okay. So I want to start really by commending you for showing up, because what I know about health and wellness is that it's not a priority for everyone. Health and wellness is not a priority for everyone. Everyone is not equally interested in their health and in having great health and boasting about, having health benefits and et cetera. Everyone is not interested in that. So I have to start by commending you for finding your way to this workshop, signing up for the workshop, deciding to watch this video and learn how to start your nutritional journey, or even learn about fasting. So what I want to do is I want to offer you the tools and resources and methods that stand out most when it comes to nutrition overall, that will help you in starting this journey. And one of the reasons that I suggest fasting, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it's okay. One of the reasons that I suggest fasting is because fasting is one of the methods of detoxing that will help you mind, body, and spirit. Okay, fasting is one of the most superb ways of jumping ahead, okay, getting ahead, getting a lot of results in a small amount of time. And it's also one of the best ways of addressing holistic wellness, mind, body, and spirit. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a video. Okay, so we're going to start there. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again so you can see this. And then please, please, please let me know um, if you can hear. Can you hear? Okay, so let's figure out how we can get the audio. Okay, so let me do this. Because like I said, tech not gonna get me today. Today, tech will not have me. All right, so let me see if I can figure this out. And this video is one of the videos that that I want to offer you because there's so much richness in it. There's so much to offer in terms of understanding. Let me just see if I can do something simple. All right. Bear with me, please. Okay. Let me try something. If you can hear, it now.
Because fasting is not sexy. There's nothing fancy. There's no drugs. It's just fasting. So people think, oh, come on, that's nothing. Just not eating. And how can I get better? Because they also don't understand that when you don't eat, you're bringing in a whole new biochemistry. They don't understand that. They don't know what fasting. Really good. But it's a huge new biochemistry. It's a whole new metabolism that you're bringing in. And then you talk about that metabolism and now how you can get that flexibility in your metabolism. Now
Okay.
you got that attention.
So I'm thinking, tell me if you can hear,
people like
if you can hear it now.
Fasting is not sexy. There's nothing fancy. There's no drugs. Not just fasting. It's not just ignoring subject.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I think the problem is that the internet is a little lagging.
Behind it. And also,
So that's fine. We will work it.
As you know, in the Hindu religion, Buddhist religion, Christianity, and also in Islam, we do fast.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it from the top a little bit so you all can start now that it is working. In fact, all I had to do was just call my son so I can look like I don't know what I'm doing on the computer. You see how that works? All I had to do was just be a damsel in distress. You didn't even come over here and touch it. Right. So let's try this one more time. And if it doesn't work with the headset, then I can definitely continue on without.
So underrated and often overlooked traditional medical industrial. Fasting is not, it's nothing fancy. There's no fasting.
Okay. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give this thing an opportunity to load, and I'm not gonna allow it to hold up the party. All right, so let's jump back into our presentation because maybe that is a sign that I need to just share the video with you and you can watch it in your leisure or just try again later, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. All right, so I am going to share my screen again so that we can get back into the presentation. Everyone is on a Zoom presentation. And so thank you so much for bearing with me. Okay. So let us go back to sharing our screen and let us dive back into our presentation. All right. Okay. So here we are. And we've already went over what you can expect for today and getting started with the 7-day fast. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what is nutrition. The first thing I'm going to do is ask you, what is your definition of this word, nutrition? When you hear the word nutrition, what comes to mind? And you can go ahead and just type it in the chat. You'll see me looking at YouTube to see the commentary there from the chat. When you think about the word nutrition, what stands out? What do you think about? What comes to mind? Okay, nutrition is eating healthy. Good. Nutrition is knowing and understanding proper nutrients. Okay. What is your definition of the word nutrition? Nutrition is the best way to utilize proper minerals for the body. Great answer. And these are all just your nutrition in your own words, how you define the word nutrition. Okay, that which is needed to sustain bodily functions to include mind and spirit. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is nutrition. Somebody else described nutrition as soul food. Soul food. Okay. So nutrition can mean a lot of different things, and it's good to just think about that word, nutrition. Let me ask, how did you think about health and nutrition as a youth? When you were younger and somebody said nutrition, how did you think of it? I know for me, when I was younger and I would think about nutrition, I would think about the nutrition facts on the back of the food, because very often my mom, who I call her a food Nazi, she used to pick up every single thing that we would eat and turn to the back of it and read the carbs, the calories, the fats, the saturated fats, the sugar grams, etc. So when I think about nutrition as a youth, that's the first thing that comes to mind. What do you think about when you thought about health and nutrition when you were younger? What came up for you? Okay, someone says boring. Someone says I wasn't interested as a youth or in my younger days at all. Okay. A balanced plate of food and exercise. Nice. Someone said nutrition was just a part of our life as a young person. I didn't really think too much about it. Nice. Okay. And so how do you see nutrition now? What are your thoughts on nutrition now? First comment is it's a necessity. It's a necessary part of carrying out the functions that I will need to live a long life. Good. Good. Keep the answers coming. Okay. Oh, struggle. Yes, for sure. That's very honest. Thank you for that.
And someone else writes, hard to maintain. I live a busy lifestyle, so I don't see much of nutrition. I'm always on the go. Good. Very honest and very real. Okay. And then what do you hope to learn from today's session? What do you hope to learn from today's session? If you can walk away with anything, what would that be from today's workshop? An understanding of how to start applying some nutritional principle to my life. Okay, nice. I hope to learn how to fast. I've never fasted before in my life. Good, welcome. Karibu. This is definitely a safe place for all the newbies who are learning how to fast. Welcome. Okay. How to maintain a healthy day-to-day existence. Nice. Nice. How
Eat to live instead of living to eat. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I know my mic changed. Can everyone still hear me clearly? Good. Okay. Perfect. All right. And eating to live versus living to eat, that's a definite game changer. That's a definite game changer. So hopefully if you stick with me on this ride, then we can go far and wide. Okay. So let's continue on in our presentation. And now that we've talked about nutrition a little bit, what I'd like to do is I'd like to actually define nutrition for you. Moment. Okay. All right. All right. Come on, computer. And bear with me. My computer is only showing out like this because I am on YouTube and Zoom today. And I'm not out in the classroom. So it is going to tear the club up and do what it wants to do. And I'm okay with that because one thing I'm not going to do is fight with technology. Okay. It's not even a retrograde and I don't even have time for that, but I'm not fighting with technology. All right. So this is the actual definition of nutrition. All right. Nutrition is the study of all interactions that occur between people and food. It involves understanding which nutrients we need, where to find them in foods, how our bodies use them, and the impact they have on our health. Essential to life. Wow, what a definition, right? What a definition. Nutrition, what it sounds like is it actually sounds holistic. Okay, it sounds holistic. Like I said, I'm a holistic wellness practitioner. So my focus is on meeting the needs of the mind, the body, and the spirit. What are your first thoughts when you hear this definition of nutrition? The study of all interactions that occur between people and food. What does that feel like for you? What does that sound like for you? How does that resonate with you? Okay, just looking at YouTube again. My YouTubers are saying it sounds like a relationship. Good. It brings an understanding that we are connected to our food, right? Because that word interactions that occur between people and food. This definition challenging what I eat. Good, good. So, one of the things that I want to identify and address when it comes to nutrition, nutrition is very different from diet. It's very different from diet because diet is just a word that implies a particular plan, a particular outline and plan for eating. This is what we're eating. This is what we're not eating. This is a diet. Okay. And so words that have to do with health and wellness, you know, involve words like diet, like nutrition, like healthy eating, like healthy habits. Those are all keywords, all very relevant vocabulary that we hear when it comes to to revamping our lifestyle with food. But nutrition is very different from diet. And the reason that it's different from diet is because it is a inside out relationship and reflection with food. An inside to out relationship. Write it down in the chat or write it down in your notes. It's an inside to out relationship and reflection to food. What that means by starting with saying that diet is an outside in reflection and relationship to food. It's an external relationship and reflection to food. So the way that it works as someone who is interested in building a nutritional plan for themselves is you first have to understand what nutrients you need because every single one of us we have different bodies. Our bodies are different, right? And we know that. So if our bodies are different, okay, then that means that the way that our bodies are nurtured will be different. The way that our bodies are taken care of and properly served and honored, it's going to be different from person to person to person to person. Some of us are from tropical climates and northern climates, and colder backgrounds. Some of us are from mountains and lakes. So the minerals there are different. The minerals of your ethnic background are different, of your ancestry. They're different. So the first step is understanding what nutrients your body needs. Okay. So once you identify the nutrients, then you're going to identify which foods hold these particular nutrients, which foods are going to serve your body. One of the more interesting experiences that I had growing up in the United States is this concept of vitamin C. So there was always this talk about, the bodies need vitamin C and even vitamin K, which is potassium. There's all this discussion about vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin K. And growing up in the States, I kind of just went along with the flow and I would drink orange juice because orange juice held vitamin C. I would drink um, calcium. It's good, vitamin D. I would eat bananas. I realized that those things weren't making me feel better. Those weren't making me feel better. What actually made me feel better, what actually helped me to go further with my body was eating mangoes. And I could sit down and eat any type of mango at any time of the day, and I can eat an unlimited amount. And that mango would feel replenishing to my spirit. It would make my body feel better. My taste buds felt great. I felt great eating mangoes. And now that I am working in nutrition and I understand the science of nutrition, what I understand is that my body needed the vitamin in mango, and the vitamin in mango is vitamin A. It's vitamin A. So that mineral, that nutrient that I needed was not the same as my peers who had grown up in rural South and been raised around people who ate a lot of these other things. And it would be very different if I had grown up in Alaska. It would be very different if I had grown up in Accra. It would be very different if my mother and father nutrients you need. B, where to find them in foods. C, how your body is going to use that nutrient. Yeah, for your blood, to enrich your blood. Is it using it to make sure that your skin is not drying out? Another thing that I craved is coconut water. I mean, these are just natural cravings now that I have this relationship, right, to food. Okay. So, and then the impact that they have on our health. Okay. So, those are the 5 principles that you really need to know about nutrition in order to start anything with your nutritional journey, right? We are not paying attention to the word diet. Diet is over, right? We start with nutrition. We start with holistic understanding of what your body needs. And then we move forward from there. We do not start with diet because what happens is essentially when you have a good understanding with nutrients and you developing this relationship with the nutrients that you need, after time in accordance with the nutrients that your body needs. The diet has to work with what you need. It has to be a compounding, symbiotic, harmonious relationship. It can't be, oh, this diet is popular. And that's the problem with many diets. It becomes popularized and then people just jump on it, not understanding things like blood type, metabolism, ethnic background, ancestral foods, mineral needs, nutrient needs, organ challenges, hormonal challenges. There are way too many factors to pick up a bag, stick your hand in, and pull out a new diet at random. There are way too many factors. So we want to be cognizant and aware of what the founding blocks of nutrition are so we can really, really get into creating this relationship with our nutrients. So what I to another screen, just give me some time to, and I'm going quicker. I know you see it. I know you see it. Yeah. Okay, great. All right. So I am going to share this again so you can see the specifics of nutrition. Okay. So there are 6 types of nutrients. Okay. The first type of nutrients is carbohydrates. We all know carbohydrates. We all have very clear understanding and relationship of carbs, right? I teach nutrition at Uhuru Community Center. And when I asked the kids, when is a carb? Everybody had a list of carbs, honey buns, cinnamon rolls, cake. Okay, enough is enough, right? Okay. So that's carbohydrates. Then we have fats. We're all familiar with fat, animal fat there. So there's a percentage of fat that we're used to consuming if we're still consuming animal products. Then there are proteins, which can come from animal products and mainly come from other things. There's protein in kale, there's protein in beans, there's protein in many, 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 many things, high levels of protein. What I want to do is I want to spend our time and energy. I want you to spend your time and energy understanding more about these three things: vitamins, minerals, and water. These are the three things that we don't spend enough time studying. Okay. And I get excited studying. I'm a student. I'm a student for life, entering the PhD program very soon, and I'm so excited about that. Um, Entering the program for women's spirituality and ecofeminism. I'm so excited to learn and doing. So I'm excited because it's science, and I'm taking a scientific approach to things. But I want you to approach it with a level of curiosity, right? And really allow your body to be like a puzzle. Allow it to be like a puzzle. And allow this time that we are spending together to be an opportunity for you to take different pieces of the puzzle and put it together to actually make a beautiful picture. That is what I want you to do. Okay. So, the focus when it comes to this particular class is really doing investigation around the vitamins, minerals, and water. All right. And when I say doing investigation, I want you to really identify some of the foods that you have found yourself enjoying that are raw. Okay. Allowing your body and your taste buds and your own organic desires to be your compass. What foods have you craved that are raw that we could use as a guide to identify a vitamin, a mineral, or a water content? Right? So let's start getting curious. All right, so I'm gonna jump over and just drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. So I'm over on the chat again, and nice, 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 nice. So celery is a really good one. Celery, and it also has a high level of water content within it. So what you would then do if you're craving celery is you would then write notes that for you, the vitamins that your body is asking for is vitamins A, K, and C. Okay. So if you wanted to get them in chewable format, pill format, powdered format, these are the vitamins that your body is requesting. Okay. So I see another one. Somebody is saying that watermelon is their craving, that they always are craving watermelon. So watermelon is actually a great um, a great fruit for getting the vitamins K and K, sorry, vitamin A, vitamin B, and magnesium as well. You will get that from watermelon. Or your vitamin pack, you're creating your vitamin pack based off of the foods that speak to you, the foods that you crave, the foods that you need, right? And I'm seeing, oh, yummy, yummy, yummy. I see radishes. Yes, that is a good one. All right. So radish. Radish is high in vitamin C and vitamin A. And it's actually a good source of antioxidants damaging. They're protective to your cells. Okay. So already be experiencing some level of cell damage. So you having a craving for radishes is the body saying, hey, listen, I need these minerals. I need these things that this particular vegetable has. And if you're not able to access it, that's completely fine. If you're not able to access radishes, that's completely fine. What you're going to do is order the vitamins that the body needs. Okay? You're going to order the vitamins that the body needs, right? So I have my medicine bag, and my medicine bag is my herbal bag. And in my herbal bag, I have things like selenium, I have things like zinc, I have things like tea tree, I have things like oil of oregano. Okay? And I have all these things in my bag because these are the things that my body specifically needs based off of my organs, my blood cells, my taste buds. And these are the things that my body needs in food. But because I'm not eating these particular foods, because I don't live where vitamin form, direct vitamin form. Do you see how you build your vitamin list? Are you getting it? Right. So I see also strawberry, vitamin C, but also strawberries are a high source of fiber. High source of fiber. So if your body is requesting fiber, strawberries, then that means your body needs more fiber. And fiber, as we know, is great for digestion. Okay, so that means your digestive system is speaking to you and saying, hey, give me some of this. Give me some of this, right? And let me also, and I see grapefruit as well. Okay, so I also want to acknowledge that um, that strawberries contain uh, folate and manganese. And folate and manganese are really necessary for development. These are things that a lot of pregnant women are taking. Folic body is always trying to speak. Your body is always trying to speak. Point. I was fasting last year. I was fasting last year, and I was on a water fast, I believe. And I came home. I was out in the evening. I broke my fast, and then I ate something that I really wasn't connected to, and then I came home, and when I came home, I walked in the door, and as soon as I walked in the door, I thought I really should eat some cashews. Just randomly, I really need to eat some cashews. And I was like, no, I already ate something. I'm okay for the night. Let me just go to bed. I'm really tired. Let me just go to bed. And I was like, well, I should get some water. And I was like, no, no water. Let's just go to bed. Went to bed, and in the middle of the night, I had terrible cramps in my leg. My foot cramped. I mean, my foot was in pain, just cramping. And I got up and I massaged my leg, I had to stand on it and walk. I was like, maybe my leg fell asleep, but it wasn't it falling asleep. It was literally a cramp. And then I know later on in the night, I just couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep well at all. So in the morning, the first thing I did was I got up and I did some research. And the research that I did was really around, why is my foot cramping? What is the reason that my foot is cramping in the middle of the night? And what it said literally is that I needed some level of either potassium or protein which can be found in cashews. And it also said that I needed to dehydrate by drinking water. So all the things that I was wanting to eat or even wanting to drink water in that moment, that was something that my body was trying to say, hey, I really need some help right now. I'm under attack. Okay. So it's important to listen. And you have to be quiet enough to listen to your body. A lot of us have got a women's book club. Okay. So if you're not in the book club, you are welcome. And the first book that we're reading is about the body remembers, the body doesn't forget. It's about trauma that we hold in our physical body. That's the first book that we're reading because many of us are trying to heal our trauma with spiritual methods and spiritual principles. We're meditating, we're clearing our mind. We're in a place of peace, okay? And we're calming ourselves to our peace. We're avoiding conflict. We're setting boundaries. We're healing ourselves from a spiritual perspective. But most of our trauma is in the body. Most of your trauma is in your body. Before we learn to honor the body, a lot of us learn to disregard the body. We learn, okay, we just have this body, but we don't have any understanding of how to honor it, how to honor it, how to be with it, how to understand it, how that this body is actually a temple. It's actually a temple. And would you go into a church and desecrate? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So why do that with the temple that you have been given? This is a temple. So that is how we start to get an idea of vitamins and what vitamins your body is needing. So I want to go on to talking about minerals. Okay. And minerals get down to how they are different. Kaishan, can you bring me a bottle of water? So, realistically speaking, okay, calcium is actually a mineral. Vitamin A is a vitamin, and usually vitamins have that acknowledgement. They'll say vitamin. They'll let you know, like, hey, I'm a vitamin by having that in their title, right? Give thanks. And minerals don't have that, obviously. Calcium doesn't have a vitamin calcium. It's just calcium. Phosphate is just phosphate. Potassium is just potassium. But the function is different because with vitamins are basically the, thank you. Vitamins are basically the the elements that the plant is producing, right? So whatever we're eating and whatever food we're eating, the vitamin is what that particular food is contributing to our body. Okay? What that particular food is contributing to the body. Okay? The mineral is what the environment is contributing to the plant itself or the thing itself. Okay. So whole grain is a mineral, but whole grain also contains fiber. It doesn't contain the difference with minerals and vitamins It's just in the environment. That's the science behind it. It's in the environment that this particular substance was created in and what it offers us versus what it's composed of. Okay, we can say it that way. And so with our minerals, it would be the same thing. You would be looking at the foods that you crave and identifying A, the vitamins, B, the minerals, and even C, the water content. Because the water content is very, very important. One of the people um on the chat wrote watermelon. Okay, and watermelon, as we all know, has a high level of water content. It's in the name, watermelon. So if your body is craving something like watermelon, it could imply dehydration, that you need to spend more time drinking maybe a gallon, maybe 8 ounces, through the system. Okay. So let's just do a quick check-in so far since we have now made it through the 6 types of nutrients. And tell me how you feeling. What do you think so far? I know on Zoom, Shakisha's here on Zoom, but I know you on YouTube can hear her. So Shakisha, can you come off mute and just give some feedback really quickly? Let's just do a little check-in.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Peace and greetings.
Thank you.
Uh-oh. Is it doing you like how it did me before?
I think it's a big lag.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give her. Okay, perfect. I see you. Let's see if we can hear. Peace and greetings.
Greetings.
All right. So talk to me. How are you? How are things? Let's just do a little check-in. We're gonna do one at the end too. Talk to me.
How are things like generally
Uh-oh.
with my
Wait a second.
nutrition
I think you're on mute on
journey?
your end.
I'm off mute. I'm not on mute. No mute on my end.
Can't hear you yet.
Wow.
Uh-oh, I can't hear you.
Well, I'm not muted.
N- Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get myself together. Maybe it's me. All right, all right, all right. Go ahead and say something now.
Hello, hello, hello.
Try it again.
Greetings, peace and blessings.
Okay. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can hear you now. It's me. All
Okay,
right. Peace and greetings. Welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, talk to me a little bit about, this first half. Um, what brought you into class? And
Uh-huh.
what are you getting from what is being discussed so far?
Well, I really resonate with the diet. It's so time that it's over with diet,
So,
which is, like you said, a plan from outside inward. And we
Mhm.
need to start
Mhm.
refocusing the way we have our relationship with food from an inner to outward
Absolutely.
relationship and focus on the nutrition of what the body needs in minerals, vitamins, and water. And so I'm really listening to that because those cravings are so important. Like that strawberry piece. You said the folic acid. I
Absolutely.
remember when I was pregnant. Yeah, strawberries, strawberries, strawberries,
Mhm.
strawberries, you know. So my body was really needing that
Mm.
folic acid for that baby, which is the supplement they used to give us, right? So now knowing where to put my focus, I think will help a lot with my relationship with food because a lot of times I'll eat and not be satisfied, right? So
Mm.
that
Mhm.
and that to me says my body hasn't gotten what it needs.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if I need some protein, then I would know to choose my foods from that. If
For
I
sure.
need some immune building something because, I have a cold or my body feels tired or run down, then I'll look toward immune building nutrients in the
For sure.
foods that I choose.
For
Yeah,
sure.
so I'm
Absolutely.
happy to have gotten that from the first section.
For sure. For sure. And it sounds like um as you are going through the process, there's a lot of different things that are just connecting, like different pieces that are just connecting for you in this particular part of the workshop. So thank you.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Can you hear
My
me okay?
my speaker
Okay.
on my
Okay.
phone is so
Yes.
low.
It
Yeah.
sounds okay. I'll speak up. I don't have a problem being a little loud. It's no worries. I got your back. Okay. So only because you two people cannot jump in and weigh in, I'm going to go ahead and just read from the chat for them. Thank you so much, Shakisha. I'm gonna call you back up to the stage since you're the only one in the Zoom room.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
All right.
welcome.
So in terms of how it is going so far for you all on YouTube. All right. Someone said what Shakisha said made a lot of sense because most of us have cravings but don't know what they mean or how to address them. Good. All right. There's another comment about the minerals. You're so right. I've learned a lot about vitamins and even some about water, but not enough about minerals. I do need to get curious about the minerals that my body needs. Excellent. Beautiful. And this is a process, right? This is definitely a process. None of us are scientific and come from backgrounds where we just know everything. We're still learning, we're still figuring this stuff out because we want to actually get the right formula for our bodies to support ourselves. So it's definitely a learning process. Okay? So, I am going to kick it back over to our presentation. Give me one moment because I don't want this battery to die on you all. One moment. All right. My tech today is just really on one. So we are not going to let it get the best of me. Next time, I will certainly be doing this in my office so I can stay strong. Mm. All right. I'm gonna take off the fan so that it's not blowing in you all's ear. All right. So I'm going to open up our presentation once again, and I want to ask you about diet. Oof. Diet is like a trigger word to some people, right? Because there's so much that goes on with diet. We have a really strange relationship with that word because it was shoved down our throats so early. And for many of us, it wasn't even relevant. We were young and didn't need to be on diets, but that may have been the only thing that was a relevant piece for those around us. So they can only teach and talk about what they know, right? So diet is something that comes from the external. It's something that is it's a presupposed plan, okay? And supposedly with the right diet, you can actually acquire great health, okay? But I want to start out by asking you, what does it really mean to be healthy? What does good health actually mean? And where are you on the scale? When it comes to being healthy, where are you on the scale? Are you at a level 5? Would you give yourself a 1? You really don't feel like you're healthy right now. Would you say you're at a 10? For me, I'd say I'm at a 9.2. Um, I definitely take really great care of my physical body, my internal body, my organs and bloodstream. I don't really play around with my body at all. But I know that there's always room for improvement. So I would say a 9.2 is where I'd rest. Okay. I don't eat any meat. I am a vegan. That is my chosen diet, and that's the diet that works best for my body, is not having any animal products at all. All right. So talk to me. Where are you when it comes to health? All right. I'm seeing 3. Okay. No judgment. I see 6.6. I'm doing better. Not as bad as I used to be. I'm seeing solid 7. Okay, go ahead, solid 7. Good. I'm seeing 4.4. These are some interesting numbers, you all. I don't know where these numbers are coming from, but give thanks and praise. All right. And so I'd like to know, what is the definition of healthy, right? To you, when you think of healthy, what does that mean? The actual definition is of being in good health, good physical health or mental condition. That's good health. And the second part, the most important part to look at, is it's not being diseased, any part of the body not diseased, not diseased, having healthy cells. Okay. So when we talk about healthy, I want to make sure that you understand what health actually means. Health is not diet, and diet is not health. There are people who are on diet plans who are not healthy. Okay. There is one function that your body has, and one function only. And that function is to operate at an optimum level. That is the body's function, to operate at an optimum level. And if your body is unable to do that because your cells have not been properly supported, then by default you are unhealthy. If your body is unable to fight off attacks, if it's not able to fight off infection, if your body is not able to sustain itself, if your bloodstream is not able to sustain itself, if your organs are failing, then that is what makes the body unhealthy. All right. So I want you to think of it as a process. The first process is providing the body, and think of the body like workers. So you're providing the workers with all the tools that they need to get the job done. Okay. So your body is the company, you are the company. And within your company, you have many workers. You have people who work on the plant, people who work on the assembly line, people who work in the offices, people who work with the money, billing and accounting. You have many different workers in the body, right? And comparing that to the body, that's your blood cells, that's your liver, that's your spleen, that's your heart. That is everything that is working within the body to keep your body up and running at all times. So your job is to make sure your workers have the tools and resources they need to get the job done and the appropriate pay to get the job done and to do a great job doing it. But if you fail to give these workers what they're needing, then they're going to be poor workers. They may be stealing something from your company because they're angry. They may not show up. They may come in late. They may call out. They may cause drama on the job, all because they're not being taken care of properly. There's a lot of mayhem. Some of them may leave and not come back, and you actually needed that worker on the assembly line. So when there is turmoil and chaos in your body, that is a sense of dis-ease. There is dis-ease taking place in the body. Everything is not at ease. Everything is not peaceful and relaxed. There is dis-ease. That is chaos. That's the turmoil. That's the conflict. That's the drama at work. And if you have drama at work, if your employees and your workers are fighting, then when competing companies come around trying to steal or trying to attack your company, you're not going to be able to stand on your 2 feet. When you have viruses and infections and bacteria that come around to try to attack your body is going to cave because it doesn't have the proper support that it needs in order to fight off attacks. Remember, the body's function is to be at optimum condition. So your job is to give it what it needs to be at that optimum condition. So being healthy is actually referring to having the cells in your body, the organs in your body, the systems in your body that are functioning at maximum capacity. That is what we are speaking about when we talk about being healthy. Maximum capacity with the internal systems of the body. All right. So, how can you align your health with happiness? Right? Because this is all about living healthy and being happy. We didn't come to this earth to be unhappy and sad and suffer and distressed and angry and anxious and overweight and struggling and all this other nonsense. That's not why we're here. That is not why we are here. All right. So these are the steps. These are the 5 steps that I outlined as a way to align your health with your happiness. The first thing that you got to do is embrace health as your source of power, longevity, and wealth. One thing that was made clear to me many, many years ago is troubles that I would observe people having with money. What I correlated long ago um, was that there were many people who I would observe in old age who were eating poorly, eating terribly. And I couldn't understand it. It wouldn't make sense to me. I'm like, you're, 55, 65 years old. Why are you eating like this? But what I learned is that those people did not have any plan to live a long life. They didn't have plan to be living until they were 90 or 100 or older than that. So eating was not a priority to them in terms of them giving the body proper nutrients because there was no concept of health and wealth. They were poor, they ate poor. That's it. But your health is a source of power, longevity, and wealth. The more you take care of yourself, the more wealth you can call into the body. Because what use would you have of money if you're dead? You don't have use for it. You don't have use for wealth. Okay? So longevity, power, and wealth equals health. Number two, seeing good health as a pathway to age and beauty preservation. So, contrary to what many use as an argument for eating poorly, health is actually a really great way to preserve your age and your beauty. That's a really great way to preserve your age and your beauty. So when we start to jump into fasting, you will see how fasting is a way to shave off years of your life, and it depends on which fast you do. So I'm going to outline that for you. Number three, making health fun, enjoyable, and interesting. Things don't have to be boring and things don't have to be dissatisfying. One of the most satisfying things to me, for me to do, is for me to identify recipes that I can eat that are vegan. And there's so much really good vegan food, y'all. Let me tell you, I'm going on a vegan food tour and I've already identified 3 cities that I'm going to be eating at. Those cities are Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. And I know that I'm going to have a ball eating everything vegan there. What? Okay, I already know. So make health fun, make it enjoyable, and make it interesting. Number four, exploring herbs and minerals and tastes that engage with your mind, body, and spirit. This speaks for itself. If something feels good, do more of that. Okay, do more of that. And don't just allow cravings to be it. Really sit and think about how to balance your food, how to bring color to your food, how to make your food engaging to your senses. Number five, take your health seriously and see it as what it is. It's a roadmap to your happiness. All right, so fasting, and we're almost at our time. We're about 10 minutes until our time. So, with fasting, there are 7 main types of fasts. Okay, there are raw fast, intermittent fast, Sabbath-based fast, juice fast, fruit only or vegetable only fast, water fasting, and dry fasting. So I am going to um, just talk about my experience with fasting. So this is actually me. All these 4 pictures are me, of course, the beautiful, beautiful me. And the picture at the far left is a picture that even my children don't really recognize, and it represents me at my most toxic, unhealthy self when I was not eating a nutrient um, based eating plan, when I wasn't aware of what my body needed, where I wasn't in relationship. I wasn't in relationship with my body. I was distancing myself from my body. And I actually talk about in my book, I wrote a book. My book is Goddess Awakening, Divine Feminine Rise. I talk about how that weight came as a result of me distancing myself from myself. I had been through so much trauma. I had been through so much trauma. And when I would go through these traumatic events, I would just lodge that trauma in my body. It was just, I was pushing it out of my mind. I couldn't deal with it emotionally. And I was just lodging all that trauma in my body. And as a result of that, my body just started to accumulate lots and lots and lots of weight. I did not, I wasn't aware of it at that time in my life. I wasn't aware of trauma. I wasn't aware of hurts and pains and bruises and emotional damage and things that happened and how they could affect us, mind, body, and spirit. I was not aware of that. But I decided to go on a juice fast at that time in my life. And I did so because I was inspired by watching a documentary. And when I went on that green juice fast, I lost about 80 pounds, about 70 pounds at the time. I went from 225 to about 150 pounds. All right. And so I did a lot. And that fast was worth it. It was a jump start for me. It was a way to completely cleanse myself and free myself of all the gunk that was really in my body, in my intestines, and just in my experience overall. With that particular fast, I gained a new outlook on life. I gained a new appreciation for life, and it just completely revolutionized everything in my life. So I'm very grateful for that. From that 150, now I probably weigh about 128 pounds. So I've continued to lose weight. I lost more weight when I stopped eating animal products and went through the Sacred Woman Initiation Program and took a lot of other holistic courses and really walked further in my walk as a holistic wellness specialist. So that is my journey, and my journey has come a long way, but I've journeyed a long way with fasting at my beginnings. That is my foundation. And so that is one of the reasons why I start with encouraging for everyone to fast. Okay. And so that brings me to this, which is our fast. So I'm going to share the link that we were gonna watch for fasting. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can try one more time. Let me just see if I can try one more time, okay? Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear? Can you hear? Okay. All right. Okay. Anything? Can you hear anything? Oh, all right. I don't think you all can hear. I don't think you all can hear.
To I'm not going to force this. I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it be because what I know is what I know, and I'm gonna share this link with you so you can watch this particular video for yourself on fasting. Okay. What I'd like to do is encourage all of you. I'd like to encourage all of you to consider starting the 7-day fast with me. We start tomorrow, and tomorrow's Sunday. We start and we go from Sunday to Sunday. And one of the reasons why I'm such a big advocate for fasting is because I understand that fasting is almost like cleaning out it's cleaning before you bring new furniture in the house. Okay, what fasting does is it offers you an opportunity to clear things out, to detox, to rid yourself of garbage before you start something new, before you start a new lifestyle, before you start a new this, before you start a new that, before you start putting in minerals. We need to clear out the sludge. We need to clear out all that, the gunk, right? And so that's the starting place. That is the starting place. And so I want to encourage all of you to start there. And if you're interested, the cost for the 7 days is only $35. And with the $35, what you get is day-to-day support and encouragement. The fast is not going to be easy. If you've never fasted before, it's not going to be easy. But what it is going to do is offer you an opportunity to get in alignment, mind, body, and spirit. And that's what this is about. This is 2023. There's so much opportunity. There's so many, many, many avenues for you to rise up and be better, have more, do more than you did last year or the years before. So getting in on this fast is a great way to start. That is a great starting line. So go ahead and drop I'm in if you want to join me on the fast. Let me look over on YouTube to see who is with me, because I know it is not easy. I did it myself. I did it for 4 months. It definitely was worth it. It was not easy, but it was certainly worth it. It was certainly worth it. And I'm grateful that I did do it. I'm grateful that I did do it, and I'm grateful that I can speak about the benefits of fasting, because it definitely was a life changer. All right. And so let me drop this for you there. All right. And that is it for today. I'm just going to drop this link here in YouTube so you all can see it. That is it for today. I'm so excited to be with you on this journey. For those of you who have joined in from the States, thank you for waking up early and joining me. For those of you who are where I'm at on the continent, give thanks and praise. We're gonna be all right. All right. So I so appreciate you. My headphones do not.
I so appreciate you. And I'm happy.
Please let me know if you have any questions. All right. I see one question is, how would I be able to fast if I am working? Would I be able to fast while I'm working? Yes, you would absolutely be able to fast while you're working. I still had my regular job. I was working as a teacher while I was fasting, and so I was still able to do everything that needs to be done. Okay. So, and I'm definitely going to be there to help you with that if you want to join the 7-day fast. All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much for showing up today for yourself. If you need me, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to support this journey. If you are joining the fast, welcome, Karibu. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to be boasting of our magnificent results when our fast has completed. So I'll see you next time. Peace and